What if I told you that somewhere in the world there exists a hidden treasure capable of making you unimaginably rich overnight, but claiming it could cost you your entire life? A treasure surrounded by secrets, buried for centuries, protected by a curse so terrifying that anyone consumed by greed risks losing everything. This is the story of a mystery that remained hidden for generations, a curse disguised as a blessing, and a treasure that drove countless people into darkness. It is a tale of greed, obsession, and the devastating consequences of wanting more than fate intended. As people chase unimaginable wealth, they slowly lose their morality, their humanity, and eventually themselves. You enjoy movie recaps like these? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, without wasting any time, let's begin the mysterious journey of Tumbbad.
The story begins with its main character, Vinayak telling his son an ancient legend that has been passed down for generations. According to the tale, centuries ago there existed a goddess of prosperity who possessed unimaginable amounts of grain and gold. When the universe was created, this goddess gave birth to 16 crore gods and divine beings from her own womb. Among all of them, however, one child was closer to her heart than the rest. That child was her firstborn son, Hastar. As time passed, Hastar became consumed by greed. Driven by his desire for wealth, he attempted to steal his mother's treasure and succeeded in taking her gold. Emboldened by this success, he then tried to seize her vast store of grain as well. But before he could do so, the other gods intervened. Furious at his actions, they attacked him and tore his body apart into countless pieces. Only one final blow remained before his existence would be erased forever.
At that crucial moment, the goddess of prosperity stepped in and saved her beloved son. However, his survival came with a terrible condition. From that day onward, no one would ever speak his name. No one would worship him, remember him, or mention him in any sacred text. He would be condemned to eternal obscurity. Yet many years later, Vinayak's ancestors defied this divine decree. They secretly built a temple dedicated to Hastar and began worshiping him. This act enraged the gods. As punishment, an endless curse descended upon the village of Tumbbad. Torrential rain began pouring from the sky and never seemed to stop. The village became trapped beneath a blanket of constant storms, as if nature itself had turned against it. During this story, one mysterious line stands out and immediately captures everyone's attention. Hastar's curse is a blessing for us. At first, the statement makes no sense. How could a curse possibly be a blessing? But the answer to that question lies hidden deep within the dark secrets of Tumbbad, and its true meaning will only be revealed as the story unfolds.
The story then shifts to the year 1930. We are introduced to a woman named Jyoti, who regularly visits an old mansion known as Sarkar's Wada. Inside the mansion lives an aging landlord, one of the last remaining members of the family. Every day, Jyoti visits him, and in return for her companionship, receives a single gold coin. One day, however, the old landlord tells her that gold is not given away for free, and that it must be earned. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Jyoti's two sons, Vinayak and Sadashiv. The two brothers are waiting for their mother to return home, as she visits the mansion almost every day. When she arrives later than usual, the brothers begin talking among themselves and wonder who is going to feed the old woman. The story then introduces a mysterious elderly woman whom everyone calls grandmother. However, she is not actually their grandmother. She is said to be a distant ancestor connected to the Sarkar family. According to local stories, she has lived for an unbelievably long time. Her body has become frail and almost lifeless, yet somehow she continues to survive. Her appearance is frightening, and her existence itself feels unnatural. The villagers believe she has witnessed generations come and go, making her one of the most mysterious figures in all of Tumbbad.
That night, Sadashiv asks his mother whether she received a gold coin from the landlord that day. Jyoti replies that gold is never given away for free. It has to be earned. The next morning, news spreads that the old landlord has died. After the funeral rituals are completed, Jyoti announces that they will soon leave Tumbbad and move to Pune. For the two brothers, this is exciting news. In those days, during the early 1900s, things like cars and motorcycles were almost unheard of in villages, but they existed in cities like Pune. The thought of seeing a completely different world fills them with curiosity and excitement. However, before they can leave, an unexpected accident takes place. Sadashiv is sitting on a tree branch when it suddenly breaks. He falls to the ground and suffers serious injuries. Worried about her son, Jyoti takes him to a local healer. Before leaving, she tells Vinayak to make sure the old woman is fed. She also gives him an unusual warning. If the old woman starts screaming or causing trouble, he must say a specific phrase. "Go to sleep, grandmother, or Hastar will come." Once his mother leaves, the old woman immediately starts demanding food.
Vinayak has no idea how to cook, but he tries his best. While searching through containers for ingredients, flour accidentally falls all over his face.
Suddenly, the old woman calls out to him and asks if he wants to find a hidden treasure. Curious and tempted, Vinayak moves closer to her. The old woman whispers that a secret treasure is hidden somewhere inside Sarkar's mansion. But moments later, her behavior changes completely. She becomes wild and frightening, her eyes filled with madness. In a terrifying voice, she declares that she is going to eat his flesh. Terrified, Vinayak starts screaming. He desperately tries to remember the phrase his mother told him, but in his panic, he forgets it. Seeing his fear, the old woman laughs and tells him that he has forgotten the words and is now going to die. She drags him toward a room and prepares to slit his throat. Just as all hope seems lost, the phrase suddenly comes back to him. Gathering all his courage, he shouts, "Go to sleep, grandmother, or Hastar will come!" The moment those words leave his mouth, the old woman instantly falls asleep where she stands. Vinayak survives, but he has just taken his first step toward the dark secret that lies hidden within Tumbbad.
At that very moment, Vinayak's mother returns home. Frightened and confused, Vinayak immediately asks about Sadashiv. With tears in her eyes, Jyoti tells him the heartbreaking truth. His brother did not survive. The loss leaves both of them devastated. Realizing that there is nothing left for them in Tumbbad, Jyoti decides that they must leave the village forever. The next morning, mother and son board a boat and begin their journey toward Satara. As they travel, Vinayak's thoughts return to the mysterious treasure hidden inside Sarkar's mansion. He tells his mother that after serving the landlord for so many years, the mansion should rightfully belong to them. And if not the mansion, then at least the treasure hidden within it. Hearing this, Jyoti becomes furious. She has just lost one of her sons, yet Vinayak can think only about gold. Taking out the single gold coin she possesses, she angrily hands it to him and tells him that if gold is what he wants, again. However, Vinayak refuses to let the idea go. He argues that if they stop feeding the old woman and leave her hungry, she will eventually reveal the location of the hidden treasure herself. By now, Jyoti understands something her son does not. She has seen how greed destroys people, and she knows that the treasure hidden in Tumbbad carries a darkness far greater than its value. Looking directly into Vinayak's eyes, she makes him swear an oath. She tells him that no matter what happens, he must never return to Tumbbad again. At that moment, Vinayak agrees, but deep inside, the seed of greed has already been planted. And one day, that greed will bring him back to the cursed village and change his life forever. The story then moves forward and jumps 15 years into the future, bringing us to the year 1933. By now, Vinayak Rao has grown into an adult, but one thing about him has never changed: his obsession with the hidden treasure of Tumbbad. The stories his grandmother told him during childhood have stayed in his mind all these years, and the lure of unimaginable wealth continues to haunt him. Unable to resist the temptation any longer, he finally returns to his village. The first place he visits is his old house, but when he arrives, he is shocked by what he sees. A massive tree has grown through the courtyard, making the abandoned house look even more eerie than before. Yet the biggest surprise is waiting inside. The old woman is still alive. 15 years have passed, and despite having spent all that time in a near lifeless state, her heart continues to beat. Seeing her once again, Vinayak wastes no time and asks the question that has brought him back. He wants to know where the treasure is hidden. The old woman immediately calls him greedy and mocks his obsession. But Vinayak is no longer a child. He calmly tells her that if he does not claim the treasure, someone else eventually will. So instead of letting strangers take it, why not share it between the two of them? The old woman responds in a completely unexpected way. She says she no longer cares about the treasure. Her life has become a curse, and she has reached the end of her journey. She tells Vinayak that if he cannot feed her, then he should simply kill her, because she no longer wishes to continue living. Vinayak sees an opportunity and proposes a bargain. If she tells him how to reach the treasure, he will free her from her endless suffering. After thinking for a moment, the old woman finally agrees. She reveals that many years ago, when she was still young and strong, she used to descend into a particular well faster than anyone else. It was during one of those descents that she discovered the secret path connected to the treasure. Hearing this, Vinayak immediately realizes something important. The legendary treasure is hidden somewhere beneath a well. And for the first time in his life, he finally has a real clue that could lead him to the secret that has been buried beneath Tumbbad for generations. After nearly 3 months of relentless searching, Vinayak finally discovers the well mentioned by the old woman. Through careful observation and countless attempts, he also figures out how to descend safely into it. However, one important mystery still remains unsolved. He has no idea how to retrieve the gold hidden within. Desperate for answers, he returns to the old woman one final time and asks her to reveal the remaining secret. Having already accepted her fate, she tells him everything he needs to know. With the mystery finally uncovered, Vinayak fulfills his promise and frees her from the endless life she had been cursed to endure. Armed with this knowledge, Vinayak manages to obtain a gold coin from the hidden treasure and returns to his village.
When he reaches home, he discovers that his wife has started a small flour grinding business to support the family. She has been working hard every day, grinding wheat and earning just enough to survive. At first, Vinayak is annoyed that she had to struggle like this, but then a confident smile appears on his face. He tells her that very soon she will live like a queen because their fortunes are about to change forever. The next day, Vinayak dresses in fine clothes and visits an old accountant named Raghav.
Years earlier, this same man had lent him 38 rupees when he was in desperate need of money. Taking out the gold coin, Vinayak asks Raghav how much it might be worth. After examining it carefully, Raghav estimates its value at around 100 rupees. Vinayak immediately settles his old debt of 38 rupees and still has 62 rupees left over. Then, almost casually, he tells Raghav that he possesses several more coins just like this one and asks whether he would be interested in buying them. The moment Raghav hears this, his curiosity is awakened. And from that point onward, a new chapter begins. What started as a single gold coin soon turns into a regular cycle as Vinayak repeatedly returns with more treasure, slowly building wealth, while keeping the true source of his riches hidden from everyone around him. But with every coin he brings back, his greed grows stronger, pulling him deeper into the dark secret of Tumbbad. Vinayak continues making regular trips to Tumbbad and keeps bringing back gold coins from the hidden treasure. Sometimes he returns with 2 coins, sometimes 8, and occasionally even 10 at a time. With every visit, his wealth grows larger and larger. Raghav, who buys the coins from him, becomes increasingly curious. Every time Vinayak arrives with more gold, Raghav asks the same question. Where is all this gold coming from? He even wonders whether the coins might be stolen, but Vinayak always gives the same answer. He claims that the coins are part of his ancestral inheritance and insists that they are completely legitimate. He then reminds Raghav that as long as the gold is genuine, its source should not concern him. As the years pass, Vinayak's financial condition improves dramatically. His modest life transforms into one of comfort and luxury. He builds a large and beautiful house, earns respect in society, and enjoys a lifestyle he could never have imagined as a child. However, along with his wealth, another thing continues to grow: his greed. No matter how much money he earns, it never feels like enough. One day, while traveling through the market, Raghav encounters Sergeant Cooper, a British police officer. During their conversation, Cooper mentions a government matter related to a recommendation Raghav had previously made. He explains that if the responsible office had processed it sooner, approval would have been granted. However, since his transfer is only a month away, there is little he can do now. After hearing this, Raghav begins thinking about Vinayak and the fortune he has been accumulating. Later, he visits him with a proposal. He suggests that they become business partners. According to Raghav, a partnership would reduce the risks involved, and he could also help manage Vinayak's growing wealth more effectively. But Vinayak immediately rejects the idea. He has become used to working alone and trusting no one. Looking directly at Raghav, he makes it clear that he is perfectly capable of handling his own affairs, and that Raghav should focus on his own business instead. By now, Vinayak's obsession with the treasure has made him secretive, suspicious, and unwilling to share even the smallest part of his fortune with anyone else. The treasure has given him wealth, but it has also begun changing the kind of person he is becoming. Time continues to pass, and now only 7 days remain before Sergeant Cooper's transfer. Meanwhile, Raghav's greed begins to grow stronger. After watching Vinayak become wealthy for years, he starts believing that he no longer needs Vinayak at all. Instead, he thinks he can discover the secret treasure himself and claim everything. To keep Vinayak distracted, Raghav hires a woman and sends her to him, hoping that Vinayak will remain occupied for a few days while he secretly travels to Tumbbad. However, his plan quickly falls apart. Tempted by a larger reward, the woman reveals the entire scheme to Vinayak. She tells him that Raghav has sent her and that he intends to travel to Tumbbad and find the treasure on his own. Realizing what is happening, Vinayak immediately heads for the village. The story then shifts to Tumbbad, where Raghav has already arrived. But what he doesn't know is that Vinayak is also there, secretly watching his every move. Hidden from sight, Vinayak carefully observes as Raghav follows the trail. Raghav notices Vinayak descending into a well with a small trunk and later emerging with gold coins. At that moment, all his doubts disappear. He becomes convinced that the treasure is hidden somewhere beneath that well. After Vinayak leaves, Raghav decides to enter it himself. Deep inside, the well leads into a long and terrifying underground passage. As he ventures further, he discovers a massive iron chest decorated with the image of the goddess of prosperity. Nearby hangs a rope leading even deeper into the darkness. Summoning all his courage, Raghav climbs down. What he finds below is unlike anything he has ever seen. He reaches a strange chamber that appears to be the womb of the goddess herself. The walls surrounding him are deep red and seem almost alive, expanding and contracting as though they are breathing. The atmosphere is unsettling and unnatural. There he notices a strange, translucent larva-like creature that attaches itself to his body. Frightened but driven by greed, he continues exploring. Soon he spots a small trunk nearby. Curious, he opens it and finds a doll made entirely of flour inside. But the moment the scent of grain spreads through the chamber, something awakens.
Hastar, the cursed firstborn son of the goddess, senses the smell immediately.
Sometime later, Vinayak reaches the hidden chamber and discovers that Raghav has met the same horrifying fate as the old woman. His body is still alive, but he has become a rotting, cursed shell of a human being. Despite everything, Raghav had once helped Vinayak during difficult times. Out of gratitude and mercy, Vinayak decides to free him from his endless suffering and ends his life. At this point, the story once again reminds us of the mysterious line mentioned earlier. Hastar's curse is a blessing for us. The reason behind this statement is finally revealed. Hastar's curse is that anyone who comes into direct contact with him or is bitten by him becomes immortal. However, this immortality is not a gift. While the person can never truly die, their body slowly decays and rots forever. It is a life filled with endless pain and misery. The only advantage is that such a person gains knowledge of the hidden treasure and understands how the gold can be obtained. But what value does wealth have if one is forced to spend eternity trapped inside a rotting body?
As the years pass, the story enters its third chapter and moves to the year 1947. By now, Vinayak Rao has built a family of his own. He has 3 children, 2 twin daughters and a son named Pandurang. Pandurang has a disability in one of his legs and cannot walk properly. Despite this, Vinayak sees great potential in him. Determined to pass on the secret of the treasure, he creates a small training setup for his son. Every day, Pandurang practices the same skills that will one day be needed inside the hidden chamber beneath Tumbbad. Vinayak trains him carefully, teaching him how to move quickly, how to collect the gold coins, and how to escape before danger arrives. Pandurang treats it like a challenge, constantly measuring his progress. Each day he asks himself how many coins he managed to collect and how quickly he crossed the safety line. What appears to be simple training is actually preparation for something far more dangerous. Vinayak is slowly grooming his son to inherit the secret that has controlled his own life for years, unaware that the same greed which consumed him may one day consume Pandurang as well.
This was the period when India's struggle for independence was reaching its peak. Across the country, the government had begun taking control of old estates and properties, including places like Sarkar's Wada. When Vinayak learns that the mansion in Tumbbad may soon come under government control, he becomes deeply worried. The secret treasure that had made him wealthy for years could soon become impossible to access. He starts wondering how he will continue retrieving the gold once the authorities take over the property. At the same time, age is beginning to catch up with him. The strength he once possessed is fading. Climbing down into the well and hauling himself back up using ropes is no longer as easy as it used to be. Realizing that he cannot continue this dangerous task forever, Vinayak makes an important decision. He decides that it is time to teach his son Pandurang the secret of Tumbbad. Taking Pandurang with him, Vinayak travels back to the cursed village by car. Once there, he begins training his son for the terrifying task ahead. He teaches him how to make the flower dolls that are used inside the hidden chamber and explains every detail carefully. Vinayak even tells him to place small stones inside the dolls because Hastar chews on the stones as well. The extra time spent doing that can create a few precious moments for someone trying to steal the gold and escape. However, Pandurang is still young and inexperienced. Despite all the warnings, he makes a foolish mistake. He secretly keeps a small flower doll with him instead of using it properly. The moment he takes it out, the scent immediately attracts Hastar. Suddenly, the terrifying creature begins chasing them. Chaos erupts as father and son desperately try to escape. Vinayak does everything he can to protect Pandurang and lead him to safety. During the confusion, however, Pandurang's greed starts showing for the first time. While his father is focused on survival, Pandurang quietly opens the pouch behind him and slips a few gold coins into his own pocket. Even in the middle of danger, the temptation of gold proves too powerful to resist. And in that moment, it becomes clear that the same greed which once consumed Vinayak is beginning to take root in his son as well. After somehow managing to escape and return to the surface, Vinayak completely loses his temper. Furious at the danger his son created, he begins beating Pandurang and slaps him repeatedly. He shouts that Pandurang could have gotten both of them killed. He reminds him that he had specifically warned him never to carry a flower doll unnecessarily inside the chamber. If Hastar had caught them, neither of them would have survived. Through tears, Pandurang apologizes and promises that he will never make the same mistake again. Later, when they return home, Pandurang proudly shows his mother the first gold coin he has ever obtained. Curious and concerned, she asks him what he saw in Tumbbad and how he managed to get such a valuable coin. But instead of answering honestly, Pandurang dismisses her questions. He tells her that whatever happens there is something only he and his father need to worry about, while she should focus on taking care of the house. Until this moment, the secret of the treasure had belonged only to Vinayak. For years, he alone knew how to enter the well, reach the hidden chamber, and return with gold. But now that knowledge has passed to the next generation. The cycle that began with Vinayak is continuing through his son. Just as greed and obsession had shaped Vinayak's life, those same desires are slowly beginning to influence Pandurang as well. As time passes, more similarities between father and son begin to appear. Following in his father's footsteps, Pandurang eventually visits the same woman whom Vinayak had been seeing for years. In a moment that reveals how deeply he has absorbed his father's habits and ambitions, he proudly tells her that one day, when he grows up, he will come to her just like his father does. To prove his confidence, he even gives her his very first gold coin, the first earning he obtained from the treasure of Tumbbad. It is a small act, but it shows that the curse of greed is no longer limited to Vinayak alone. It is quietly passing from one generation to the next, just as the treasure's dark influence has done for decades. One night, when Vinayak visits the same woman he has been seeing for years, she proudly shows him a gold coin and tells him that Pandurang gave it to her as a gift. The moment Vinayak hears this, he is filled with rage. Furious beyond words, he rushes home and brutally scolds his son. He asks him whether he has become so obsessed with women that he now wants to imitate everything his father does. Vinayak reminds him that one day he will inherit all the secrets of Tumbbad anyway, and yet instead of focusing on that responsibility, he is wasting his time chasing after the same woman. By now, Vinayak is too old to enter the hidden chamber as easily as before, and the thought of his son being distracted by desires infuriates him even more. However, even while being beaten, Pandurang cannot stop thinking about the treasure. His greed has already taken root deep inside him. Through the pain, he suggests a new idea. Instead of feeding Hastar one flower doll at a time, why not throw many dolls at once? Hastar and his copies would remain busy consuming them, creating a much larger window of time to collect gold. Hearing this, Vinayak suddenly falls silent. To his surprise, the idea is brilliant.
He cannot believe that such a simple solution never occurred to him. The very next day, he asks his wife to prepare a large amount of flour. Together, they make numerous flower dolls and then travel back to the well. Before descending into the hidden chamber, they create a large circular barrier of flour around the treasure chest. Once inside, Vinayak releases not one, but 2 flower dolls. Immediately, 2 forms of Hastar appear before them. Then, Pandurang opens another sack and throws out many more dolls. To their astonishment, every doll creates another manifestation of Hastar. Within moments, the chamber is filled with multiple versions of the cursed creature, each rushing toward a doll. Vinayak watches in disbelief. The secret hidden within the curse is finally revealed. Yet despite being surrounded by countless Hastars, father and son remain safe, because they are standing inside the flower circle. The creatures can approach the boundary, but they cannot cross it. Protected by the barrier, Vinayak and Pandurang now have more time than ever before to gather gold. What started as a dangerous mission has become far more profitable. But with every new discovery, their greed grows stronger, pushing them deeper into the darkness of Tumbbad and closer to a fate they do not yet understand.
At this point, it's important to understand one crucial detail about Hastar's curse. Long ago, when Hastar demanded wealth, food, pleasure, and everything else from his mother, the goddess of prosperity, the other gods became furious and punished him. As part of that punishment, the goddess deprived him of grain forever and declared that he would never be allowed to touch it. This is why the flower circle acts as a sacred boundary. Hastar can approach it, but he cannot cross it. However, there is one exception. If a human willingly offers grain to him, he can consume it. And after remaining hungry for countless years, Hastar cannot resist the scent of flower. That is why he eagerly devours every flower doll placed before him. Back inside the hidden chamber, the sight of so many Hastars becomes too much for Pandurang to handle, and he faints from fear. Hours pass, and night falls. Father and son remain trapped inside the protective flower circle, hoping that as the dolls are consumed, the creatures will gradually disappear. Their plan almost works. One by one, the Hastars vanish as the dolls are eaten. But in the end, a single large flower doll remains. As long as it exists, one final Hastar continues to survive. Seeing no other way out, Vinayak realizes that someone must make a sacrifice. Determined to save his son, he takes the large doll and tears it into many smaller pieces. Then he ties those pieces all over his own body. When Pandurang realizes what his father is about to do, he breaks down in tears and desperately begs him to stop. But Vinayak knows there is no other choice. For years he chased the treasure, and now the price for that greed must finally be paid. With one final look at his son, he steps outside the protective circle. Instantly, every remaining Hastar rushes toward him. The creatures begin chasing and attacking him as he runs. Vinayak leads them directly toward the treasure chest and the sacred boundaries surrounding it. One after another, the Hastars touch the protected area and are destroyed. Their bodies burn away until none of them remain. Vinayak's sacrifice succeeds. The cursed creatures are finally gone, and Pandurang is able to escape. He climbs out of the well and emerges from the womb of the goddess, carrying with him not only the treasure, but also the painful lesson his father learned too late. The greed that once drove Vinayak to seek endless wealth ultimately demanded the highest price. And standing there alone, Pandurang finally understands the true curse of Tumbbad. The treasure was never the greatest danger. Human greed was.
When Pandurang finally emerges from the hidden chamber, he is met with a heartbreaking sight. His father, Vinayak Rao, has suffered the same horrifying fate that once befell the old woman and Raghav. His body is twisted, decayed, and cursed, yet he is still alive. As Vinayak takes his final breaths, he hands a pouch filled with gold coins to his son and bitterly tells him to take them. He reminds Pandurang that this treasure was what he always wanted, and that it was the reason they had come all the way to Tumbbad. The gold that had consumed generations now lies in front of him. But at that moment, something changes inside Pandurang. He remembers the lesson his father had taught him long ago, that Hastar's blessing is actually a curse. It may grant immortality, but what kind of life is that if the body continues to rot and decay forever? What value does endless wealth have if it destroys everything that makes a person human? For the first time, Pandurang truly understands the price of greed.